Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we are doing another manga review. Now today we are going to be reviewing Eden Zero by Hiro Mashima. Here's book 1, book 2, and book 3. Now this is published by Kodansha, as you guys can see right there, including their very fragile spines. The genres are adventure and space fantasy, and I guess because it's space fantasy you could call it science fiction and fantasy as well, but there's a bit of a difference there. Fantasy is Lord of the Rings. Science fiction is The Expanse, and sci fantasy is more like Star Wars, Dune, John Carter of Mars, those kind of like situations where magic and science aren't really that easy to tell from each other, or where science exists with magic and it doesn't really matter how the science works, which is, key in Star Wars. No one really cares how the hyperdrive works. We just need it to work when we need to get to the planet to find the space wizard, right? So that's how it is, right? Now, this does have an adaptation coming. It's in the works. I think it's supposed to release sometime next year, and I'm really excited about it. Fairy Tail is one of my favorite anime, mostly for nostalgia reasons. I realize that it's not great, but that doesn't matter to me because everything it does good is well done to me, and I really enjoy it, and I don't really care about the epicness of the storyline or the fact that it's, fake epic fantasy or anything like that, or that it doesn't end well. I care about the character moments and the stuff that really touches you, which is not the plot line, it's the characters. So it doesn't, so I'm excited to see Eden Zero. Plus, I want to see how they do the OST. Is it going to draw inspiration from Fairy Tail? Is it going to be completely different? How are they going to make it sound sci-fi without getting rid of that fantasy element? Because, the Fairy Tail OST, regardless of how good or bad the anime was, the OST is amazing. So yeah, the premise here is that this young beekeeper, which is the space age version of YouTuber, goes into a planet, stumbles upon a young man, and they develop a quick friendship and decide to go on an adventure together. You can't really encompass the premise of the story that easily because it doesn't tell you from the get-go. It's not like Naruto or Bleach, or well, actually you can't tell about Bleach either, or One Piece, where it's like the first chapter and you already know, our boy wants to be the king of all pirates / of ninja. But it does get there eventually, and at one point at the end of book 1, you know what the point of the story is, which is very different from Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail was structured via arc instead of via like whole story, and that was akin to like old school pulp fantasy, which I'm a big fan of. Sword and Sorcery, Sword and Planet, that sort of stuff. I really like that, but it doesn't work for the type of serialized long form storytelling that anime and manga really kind of encompass. And so a lot of the issues came from that. So I'm gonna break down each book a little bit. So actually, before we do that, the 3 books that I'm talking about right now cover 3.5 arcs. The first 3 arcs are really short. They're very like quick and easy. It's the introduction, which I kind of call the Grand Bell arc, because that's the first planet that they go to. Then we have the Norma arc, then the Skull Fairy arc, which is a really quick one, and then the Guilds arc, which the first 3 arcs are encompassed in the first 2 books, and then the third book is mostly just the Guilds arc, and it's only the first half, I guess. I don't remember exactly how the division of chapters is, but it's about the first half. Yeah, and so we get some good battles on different planets. We get some good shonen vibes, and book 1 specifically has a lot of tearjerker moments. Bits where you're talking or where you're reading, and out of nowhere you're just like, damn, that that really hurt, that really got me in the heart. One time with Shiki, and one time with Rebecca. That whole Rebecca happy thing, oh my god, I was like about to bawl my eyes out, and it's so ridiculous because it doesn't really, it's not that serious, but I don't know. Mashima has always been good at making me like really feel those character moments. So yeah. What else is there? That's basically it for book one. I mean, at the end of the book one, we know the plot line of the story, which I will tell you because it's not really a spoiler. The end goal of the whole story is to find this giant mystical being called Mother, which lives in space somewhere. She just floats around, hanging around. And the goal is to find her. And that's great. I really like when stories have an end goal in mind. And this will really help alleviate a lot of the issues that Mashima had with Fairy Tail, which is that there is no clear ending, no clear goal, no clear story, or main character for that matter. A lot of those problems will go away with the fact that there is an end goal. So good stuff. Book two is pretty good. There's this cliffhanger. Well, there was two separate cliffhangers at the end of book one. And book two deals with one of them. And we get some cool little time travel hijinks and enjoyable stuff. There's this character that kind of reminds me of Han Solo. If Han Solo was very intelligent in terms of like machinery, which is cool. I really enjoy that. And we get some cool battles there as well. And I'm really enjoying this, world hopping aspect. Going from one planet to the next is really cool. I haven't seen it before. I guess the only other place where I can think of it happening would be Samurai 8, but I haven't read that much of Samurai 8, so I can't really say for sure. Yeah, book 2 was really good. I really enjoyed it. There was some good tearjerker moments here, or like heartstring pulling moments with one of the characters, Pino, which is a really cute little like bunny rabbit robot thing. She's pretty adorable. I really like her character, but it deals with like amnesia, not knowing who you are, and it just sucks. It was a very powerful moment, even though it's kind of lame because it's just a little robot, right? And book 3 is cool. I really enjoyed the whole battle with the Skull Fairy, which is basically Urza from Fairy Tail, and embarking on this what's it called? Rescue mission, which was really nice. It was really fun, and there was some really good fan service in this volume, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny, because that's really what Mashima's fan service is. It's more like ridiculous funny. It's not really like, oh look, she's so hot. I mean, I guess it is that, but it's also like for the sake of comedy, and I like that. Yeah. Okay, so the characters here are really good. I enjoy all of them. Yes, they all look like Fairy Tail characters, and no, it doesn't matter, because Takeshi Obata's, all of his characters look like L and Light Yagami from, Death Note, and no one complains about that. So why are you going to complain about Hiro Mashima? The hate is just unnecessary with Hiro Mashima. He just likes those character types, and he makes them different from Fairy Tail. They don't look the same, especially if you're comparing early Fairy Tail to the first couple of chapters of Eden Zero. They don't look anything alike. Okay, well, they do look similar, but the art style is different. The art direction is unique. The way they look is unique. I really enjoyed all of the differences between all the characters. And if you read Hiro Mashima's, or Mashima Heroes, which I did a review for up there, you will see that they all look the same in the same art style, but because the art styles are different between each series, you can't really say that they're the same character. Plus, they have different quirks and stuff, so it's not really a problem. I don't really like when people complain about them looking the same, because, okay, they kind of do, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is their character and the story that they embark on. Why are you complaining about an artist wanting to draw them the way he wants to draw them? That's so, like, I don't know, crappy to me. So, Shiki, black-haired Natsu with different quirks. He has gravity magic, which is this thing called Ether Gear, which is really awesome. It's just basically magic for gravity. It's supposed to be technological, but it's not really. It's just magic. We have Rebecca, who is basically Lucy, but thicker, which high-quality stuff. And she loves to eat, and she's so cute, and she has such funny expressions, and she loves cats, and I really like her character. Lucy was a little bit more annoying to me in early Fairy Tail. Rebecca is great. I have no issues with her. I really enjoy her as a character. I think she's amazing. Then we have Wise, which is this new character, scumbaggy kind of guy. He reminds me of Han Solo, like I said, if he was intelligent. Cool stuff. Really enjoy his character, and his technomancy powers are really, really cool. We have Pino, who's the mascot. Her full name is E.M. Pino, which is electromagnetic pulse. I guess. I don't know. That makes it sound like she's a little electromagnetic pulse. And she's the mascot. She's an android, and she has a very meaningful story in book 2. And I really want to know more about her. And then we have a bunch of other side characters. We have Witch and Sister. And we have Homura, which kind of looks like Wendy grown up. But I guess she's actually more like that one lady from Fairy Tail. I can't remember her name. She like fights Urza like twice, I think. I can't remember. But she's cool. I like her. And villains-wise, we have Elsie Crimson, which is Urza. Ilega, which is this frog guy. Libelia Christie, which is like Rebecca's rival, sorry. And Sister and Giltz, and the people from Giltz, which are what's it called? Jin, the Wind Ninja, and some other people. That ninja looks like Kakashi, by the way, which is cool. I mean, I like that. And now the world building here, it's great. It's very Star Wars-esque. It's that kind of like lived-in technology, far in the future, very different, going to different planets. Very cool magic meets sci-fi, middle ground that I really love. I think that we don't really explore that genre that much in English literature or Western literature anymore. And it's a shame because it's so cool. But I think the problem is that like sci-fi is a hard speculative fiction and fantasy is a soft one, and it like bothers people to have like a middle ground, which sucks, but I get it, I guess. And yeah, we see kind of steampunky, cyberpunky kind of stuff. I don't really know what the right word is, but it's very interesting. I really enjoy the aesthetic situation here. Yeah, and there's actual technology, but it's all kind of magic based, which is awesome. I love it. There's some deeper lore here in the wider galaxy. There's dragons that live in space. There's these things called chronophages, which are these like other types of dragons basically that deal with time, that really like destroy planets. It's very, very interesting, very cool stuff. And I really like the whole thing with the Demon King and the Eden Zero lore. Like the Eden Zero is a thing in the story, and there's a lot of stuff connected to it that kind of is important to Shiki and the Demon King from book 1, this guy. And yeah, I really like the whole humans versus androids thing that's going on, and like the human versus technology aspect that's kind of happening here, because it's not really humans versus machines. It's more like humans and machines working together to find a common goal and like developing each other. The magic system is cool. Ether Gear is interesting. It's apparently old school, so not a lot of people have it, and you can learn it or get it granted to you, but it's not easy to manage. And it basically is this like you have the force flowing through you, and Ether Gear is a way for you to control the flow of the force, and then you get a specific power from how you control how the gear controls your force flow, which then opens a question: if you get more than one Ether Gear or more than one flow control, can you have different types of Ether Gear? Which sounds interesting. I would really like to see that happen. And yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoy it. I think everything is good. Now, the art here is great. It's very different from Fairy Tail. It's a lot rounder. It's a lot more polished. And it's very individual now. It's unique. It's not very similar to Oda's from One Piece, or, the guy from Seven Deadly Sins, or that other guy from Magi. They don't all look the same. There's a very unique style to this one, which I really like. And yeah, I mean, the girls look a lot cuter. The guys look more or less the same. But it's really cool stuff. Now, the fan service here, it's great. It's ridiculous stuff. It's raunchier than Fairy Tail for sure, which is kind of an achievement. But yeah, it's humorous and cute. It's really just for fun. It's not really like, oh, look at this You know, it's not to get you really, you know, titillated or whatever. It's just fun because he likes to draw those types of situations, and most of them are just for laughs. So don't get upset. But you know, you're warned if you don't like that. And yeah, I would rate each of these books a 4.5 out of 5 easily. I don't want to call them a 5 out of 5 because I think that there was a little bit missing here, just in some explanations of the world, which I guess is fine because we're just learning about the world. But I would have liked a little bit more explanation from the get-go. I think the way that Mashima uses to explain it, which is having a character that knows nothing and have another character explain it to him, is a very good concept. But it's not being executed that well because Shiki isn't asking the questions that a regular person would ask. But it's not really a problem. It's just kind of like, okay, we'll get to it when we get to it, or it doesn't really matter, so we're not going to talk about it, which is fine. I definitely recommend this. Similar titles are Fairy Tail. I think One Piece is maybe kind of similar as well, at least in the kind of background that the main characters might have. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought about Eden Zero. Yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.